smudge or sage and you or a candle, Karen, I was just saying you can, if you have an altar and you want to activate it.
Mhm.
So I picked a few cards for this group for today. From all my different, well, from a few of my different decks. Instead of 4 cards from one deck, I picked 4 different cards from 4 different decks. Hestia is, she's one of the Greek goddesses. She's very much like Brigid, right? She's the goddess of the hearth and the fire, and she was the one that was the space holder for peace. If at her hearth, if there were travelers, weary travelers or warriors, all of them, no matter what, if they were in battle, enemies, they all had to lay down their swords, and she just provided warmth and love and healing space for them. So I thought that was really sweet that she showed up. And then Sekhmet, the lioness, goddess head from Egypt, super powerful. Probably from all you Leos in the group, she's showing up. Super ancient goddess. You know, she just says, you're stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. If you want to look up and research her a little bit more on your own, you can. But then I thought it was interesting, and I also got, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is my, where am I?
Is that Liz?
Yeah.
No, it is?
So,
What?
Liz is in my,
I gotta see this.
did you see it?
Put your glasses on, Liz.
Good one. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's me. In all my glory.
Yeah.
No, now you're in all your glory.
Pretty. But Liz, you're my Queen of Swords in my tarot deck. Queen of Swords is she's highly intellectual, but she is very fair and also kind of balanced between her intellect and her heart. And Queen of Swords shows up in a tarot reading sometimes as an actual person, usually a female guide or friend to offer support. So I thought that was also very sweet. And then from my Sarasite deck, I got Balance. This was a gift from Sarasite, gave all of her friends tarot decks on her 50th, which was an awesome gift. It's really beautiful deck. But Balance, so I thought it was interesting because like Hestia, she feels more heart-centered, and Queen of Swords is sort of more intellectual, and I think that's what we're really trying to move towards, right, in this new year, is like getting out of our heads a little bit, getting more into our bodies, balancing our emotions and allowing ourselves to feel them and move through them. And I personally have a little bit, I wouldn't say regret, but this past year, you know, I started doing these meditations with some older friends of mine, and I was saying, this quarantine is such an amazing opportunity for us. You know, how many times have we said, I wish I had more time to, you know, learn how to, you know, I don't know, crochet or whatever it is, whatever the thing is. And then, you know, we were given this time, but for me, I just allowed for the politics to be so heavy on me. And I just felt like I needed this space to sort of deregulate and kind of just like not be spiritual and be really kind of lazy and not do much at all. But planetarily speaking, and you know, politically speaking, and seasonally speaking, we're in a beginning. We're in the still point of that seed starting to stir, and so we're just starting in the space of possibility and renewal. And you can, I don't know if anybody else has felt that, but since this past
Right.
full moon. I've been like, I just like it's happening. I can feel it, you know, and it's exciting for me because I get a redo, and we all get a redo, you know, of okay, so now we're just in that space of creation again, and how are we gonna, you know, welcome in this new year, and really after we've had that, you know, 2020, to create that space to really go forward and grab the thing that we want for ourselves. So before we start with the poetry or the readings, or for all of you for your own sharings, I was just going to do a brief meditation. So you can have screen on or off. I'm going to pin myself. Okay. And then it's just going to be short. So Liz is perfectly situated in her tub. But for the rest of you, you can get comfortable. You can, you know, I kind of like to have both of my feet connected to the ground, but if you want to lie back, that's totally fine. This is for you. So however you're comfortable. So yeah, so I just wanted to call in and invite. I have my crazy medicine staff that's got like all kinds of craziness. No coyote on here, but there's like deer and
Oh my
heron and turkey and owl and snake and hummingbird and woodpecker and cedar waxwing, and the stick is made out of a beaver piece of wood that was it's been chewed up by beaver. Because what I want this meditation and the beginning of this, for the intention to be, is for in this next sharing and this next circling up of us as women, for us to really feel into kind of our animal bodies, so that we can open our sensations up, open up our hearing, open up our deeper seeing of one another, open up, you know, the senses. So we've shared some Mary Oliver through the years, and we all know that Wild Geese, beautiful poem, and there's that line, you only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. So for this meditation, I invite you to bring your awareness to your breathing here. And there's no right or wrong in this meditation. You can just feel into inhaling, deepening into your body, softening your eyes, maybe neutralizing your shoulders a little bit, maybe rolling them back a few times. You're welcome to move around, sit still, however you are called. And so I invite you also to close your eyes. You don't have to if that doesn't feel comfortable. And we're just going to walk in towards our deeper inner knowing and inner landscape, into the cells and the bones and the organs, and allow for them to relax. It's sort of like that corpse pose where there's stillness and there's no need to be anywhere or do anything. Just an invitation to be in the moment. Maybe connecting a few more times to your breathing. You welcome in the inhale and exhale. Take a moment just to kind of regard it as the friend that it is. It's been with you since your first moment earthside out of the womb. It will be with you until your last moment here on earth. So we're welcoming in the breath as a tool to open up our imaginations And going deep into that imagination, the playground that it once was for us as children. You know, when we were sitting around, maybe for some of us, the tea party or the, whatever it was, Barbies or G.I. Joes, or, that it didn't take much to imagine things to a point that they felt real to us. So as we do this meditation, it's okay if you don't feel anything. There's no right or wrong. Again, maybe you just feel something. Maybe you will see something visually in your imagination. Maybe you just get a knowing. But I want to invite in our beloved guardians, our spirit guides, our angels, to be here with us and to witness us in circle. Maybe the coyote, maybe it's, it's different for all of us. So you can imagine from where you're sitting, your body is staying still, but in your imagination, you can go to your front door and kind of open it, and you get to choose what the scene is that you walk out into. It doesn't have to be the reality of the snow right now. It can be beach, it can be tropical forest, it can be mountain, somewhere beautiful that is special to you on the earth that you resonate so deeply with that when you go there, you feel like you're held by your grandmother, that kind of loving connection. Wherever you're at, you're going to walk up until you see a big, beautiful tree. And again, it's your tree, your own tree of life it can be full of birds, snakes, however you choose it. It could be flowering, fruiting, it could be small, it could be just a baby sapling tree. And you can shrink or grow to the size of the tree that you are comfortable climbing up it to the very top of this tree. And in the top, one of the highest branches in this tree, you'll find a nest there. And so you'll climb in the nest. And then I'm going to welcome in one of our winged spiritual guardians. It could be an angel or Isis or eagle, hawk, coming in to take you from the nest. And that ally helper is going to carry us up into the upper world and deposit us into a heaven of our own creation in our mind. And in this heaven, there's a circle of beings. And you realize these are your very own, this is your council, this is your circle of elders, perhaps ancestors that have come before you, that have been watching over you and loved you into being before you were even, even before you were even a thought in your mother's mind. They loved you before that. They loved you for lifetimes. Perhaps the Sekhmet and Hestia are there that we called in for this specific healing. The Queen of Swords. And they're here to offer you a gift. So I'm just going to drum quietly for just a minute or two, and you can engage with these with your counsel. Maybe Bridget is there. It could be, we have so many different types of guardians. It could be from the animal world, the elements, water, fire. And so the council, your very own council, is handing you the gift that you can put into your medicine pouch. Maybe a little egg or a seed, little crystal, rose quartz. Just a little piece of medicine that is perfect for you to help you remember that your counsel is always with you and that there's a seat for yourself always at your own counsel. There's always an empty seat that's reserved for you and the choices that you make for yourself. And so this counsel circles around you and love and support and hugs you and holds you and allows you to release tears, release any rage or anger until you're just feeling loved by them and you're able to be in that space of reciprocal energy. You can love them back. And then send them your gratitude. Maybe it's some loved ones that you haven't seen in a long time are there. Give them an extra special hug and let them know that you'll be seeing them again. And then you can ride a back on the back or be picked up by your winged ally who returns you back to your nest. And then you're going to come down the tree, climb back down your tree. And then you're going to call in an animal spirit guide. So whether it's a four-legged or an ocean, whale, dolphin, solar queen, mountain lion, whatever animal comes in for you, you can either ride upon it, or you can actually, because our imaginations are so powerful, you can become that animal being. Again, no right or wrong. It could be a little mouse. It could be, a beetle. It could be, doesn't have to be something grandiose, a skunk, groundhog, cow. So many possibilities. Because each animal, just like each human, is put on this earth with its gifts, its tools, its profound sense of belonging to something greater. So as you're sitting aside, along, on top of, or realizing yourself as this animal, allow for the senses that it specializes in. So, the bat has incredible hearing, the hawk has amazing vision. Whatever it is that your animal has that is special, that strength that it has, you can invite that into your own being. Again, allowing for the soft animal of your body to love what it loves. And then you might even see some other friends, your herd, your tribe. Taking a moment to enjoy your family. And then coming back, returning back into your body. Last moment of gratitude towards your animal spirit guide. And before you say goodbye, maybe you have a question for it. Maybe you want to know, what its unique medicine is for you. And if you put that intention out there, you might not get an answer right away, but it will come. It will come in the next day or so. If you forget, maybe write it down after this meditation or And then you're just going to return to your body, remembering to soften again, soften deeper into the shoulders, into the bones. And then we're going to come out, taking a deep inhalation and exhalation, just to be present into each other's space. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes, come back into the room, and we will open it up for anybody who wants to start. If anybody wants to share their poem or their reading, if nobody's gonna go, I'll have to choose. I might have to go like alphabetically. But if anybody's feeling like ready, then raise your hand and I'll pin you. Liz, she got her hand up. Okay, hold on, you're muted. Wait, Liz, can you hold on 1 second? I think Trish, okay. Zoom, Trish says, okay, never mind. She just said her Zoom's not working. Okay, go ahead.
So I did go back, like I said, I found the original email, and there was something that you said about, which you opened with, about this coming year and wanting each of us to commit to, I think, ourselves and being clear with ourselves and honest with ourselves. It was something to that tune. And when I read that, I had already chosen this quote and this poem, and they seemed to go well with your theme. So I was very pleased. So I don't want to upset anybody. But they're both, I have a quote from Julia Alvarez and a poem by Sandra Cisneros, two women whom I'm sort of working with through the literary agent I work for. That's why I went to them to find something. So the quote, Julia says, "Each of us will have to make the choices that allow us to be the largest versions of ourselves." And I think that's really true. Like every day we're confronted with many choices, you know, every moment we're confronted with choices, but on a larger scale, on a broader scale, we do have that freedom and that power to make choices for ourselves that can enrich our lives and help us become the largest versions of ourselves. And this poem by Sandra Cisneros is from her book of poetry called Loose Women. And the poem is called Loose Woman. And it goes like this. "They say I'm a beast and feast on it, when all along I thought that's what a woman was. They say I'm a bitch or witch. I've claimed the same and never winced. They say I'm a matcha, hell on wheels, viva la vulva, fire and brimstone, man-hating, devastating, boogie woman lesbian. Not necessarily, but I like the compliment. The mob arrives with stones and sticks to maim and lame and do me in. All the same, when I open my mouth, they wobble like gin. Diamonds and pearls tumble from my tongue, or toads and serpents, depending on the mood I'm in." So I like this poem, not because I relate entirely to all of the content in it, to each stanza in it, but it just, I've been thinking a lot about the patriarchy and, you know, women's role, and with Kamala coming in and AOC speaking up for herself, you know, on the floor of the House and really telling it like it is, and speaking for all women except those who pander really to the patriarchy. And I feel really empowered to step into being the bitch or the witch or the mouthful of diamonds and pearls, whatever it takes for me to live my life in the largest version of myself. So that was Sandra Cisneros.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's a good one.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of that one bitch poem that you had. What was that one?
I know.
The other bitch poem.
Pingona.
Oh, yeah. The
Pingona.
motherfucker or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, the motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a theme. There's a theme. I'm all about freedom.
Yeah, baby. Thank you, Liz. Does anybody else
Yeah.
have comments specifically for that? Or is anybody ready to read next?
Well, I think the poem was all more powerful because you're naked. So I was thinking maybe if you're doing your thing, you should be naked while you're saying that. Just kidding.
Yes, it is true. It
Put
is
your
true.
Zoom right here.
All right, Angie Dalton.
Okay, so I was going to read the poem that I put into Amy Miller's letter. Some of you know that I messed up the method of the Dear Emily letters and ended up writing 2, but I took 2 years, so that's still 1 on average per year. So,
What's the Dear Emily letter?
don't ask.
Okay, I'll Google it. Like,
I still haven't gotten one.
Part of that is probably my fault.
She did write me the most beautiful letter. I love it, Angie. I've read it like 7 times.
I'm happy about that. I thought I was supposed to write Sherry, but I was supposed to write Amy. But I did write Amy, and she's not here. And I thought that the fact that she's not here is even more important, because I think that a lot of us have felt the weight of this last year, and I think that we should all pray for Amy and everybody, all of us who feel a little down. So anyway, I'm going to read you what I wrote, and then I'm going to read the Emily Dickinson poem. So I said, let's see, I'm so happy every time I see your smiling face. You're a pure joy to be around. So last year or 2 years ago at Imbolc, I don't know if you guys remember, we were all dancing to Havana, Unana, and Amy and I decided to go to Cuba at the end of that evening, and it never happened. And then I said, this year has been, well, hard. It didn't feel much of the free-spirited Rome that I hope to experience with you. Our mass culture has caused us to go inward in meditation for almost a year now. At the very least, we have connected less as humans. It is more likely that we have faced loss, death, both of others who are close to us and in ourselves as we have pondered our own mortality. In an election year, even our country's sense of self felt torn and on the verge of fracturing into multiple versions of consciousness, and very disturbingly, even multiple versions of the actual facts and circumstances. More than any other year, we need the unstoppable power of goddess prayers, love, and hope. And then I love this Emily Dickinson poem. So I put a lot of pictures of all of us over the years at Imbolc, and this was the poem that I thought eloquently encapsulates that. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me.
Beautiful.
Is Amy okay?
Yeah, I think she's just feeling sad. She's just feeling a little sad, down. So that's why I say I think we should all think about her, because I think it's just this general thing that everybody is in touch with.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Angie. Is anybody ready to go next? Or I could just go like alphabetical, and then bottom of the alphabet, and then top of the alphabet, and bottom of the alphabet. So I think
Mine.
Teresa would be next.
Allison comes next after Angela.
Well,
No, Allison's actually.
no, I'm gonna go. So Teresa, I'm gonna go like A to Z to A to Z to A to Z to A to Z.
Oh.
Oh, fancy.
Hold on, let
Okay.
me pin you.
Allison said she would read hers.
I'll go.
Oh, you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Um,
Let me pin you.
Okay. What does that mean?
It's not highlighted on mine.
It doesn't hurt. Don't worry, Allison.
I'm reading a poem from a book that somebody gave me this year. She's a young poet. I think she's a young mother of 4. But all of her poems just reminded me that of the weight that women are bearing right now, all the sacrifices that they're making. I mean, everything they're giving up, everything that they're holding down, everything that they're keeping rolling. Like, women are fucking amazing, but they've sacrificed so much. You know, like, you see all the reports that, like, I don't even know what the percentage is of women who have, you know, had to quit their jobs or whatever. So, like I said, it's by a young poet, and this one's called Motherload. She keeps an office in her sternum, the flat bone in the center of her chest with all its urgent papers, vast appointments, lists of minor things. In her vertebra, she holds more carnal tasks, milk jugs, rotten plants, heavy-bottomed toddlers, and all their mortal rage. She keeps frustration in her hallux, senseless chatter, jealous fangs, the spike of a dinosaur's tail. The belly is more complicated, all heartache and ambition, fires and tidal waves. In her pelvis, she holds her labors, long and slippery. In her clavicle, silent things. Money and power, safety and choice, tiny banquets of shame. In her hand, she carries their egos, small and flimsy. In her mouth, she holds her laughter, gentle currents, a cosmos of everything.
Mm.
Just the power of women. I can't actually find the book because I think that there were a couple of other short ones that I was going to read too. If I can find it, maybe I'll pepper those in at the back, but that's it.
Nice.
Her name is Kate Bayer.
Do you know what's so interesting about that to me? I don't know. I find it like women who give so much of themselves lose contact with their body completely. But like that saying, it's like held in all those different places, even though they disconnect.
Yeah, it's like
The first thing that
having to
goes.
remember to relax your jaw, having to remember to pull your shoulders down, having to remember to connect to the ground, having to remember to do all these things because your body is holding so much.
And
I
because
think
you're
that poem,
disconnected because you're outward.
What?
What was the name of that poem, Allison?
Motherload.
I think it's the poem's kind of saying exactly that the woman is not connected to her body. She's connected to all of these things that have taken each body part over.
That
And
she
it's
sacrificed.
are residing in, each spot in her body.
Hollowed out.
Yeah. Wow.
It's powerful.
Mm.
Yeah. Women.
All right, T.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, unless you don't want. Okay.
No, I'm not ready.
Okay. Would anybody else like to go next?
Yes, you know, I was gonna say,
Sure.
No, or Sarasai. Sarasai?
What?
Who's next to the back of the alphabet?
Sarasite is a poem.
Aw.
Wait, does
Thank
Sarah
you.
or Sarasai? Yes, Sarasai, you would be next.
Really? Not Sherry?
Oh, wait, yeah, wait, no, you're right. SH.
Oh, honey, just get me.
Sherry, are you ready?
Sure. I'll read my poem. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Sherry.
Well, so I was trying to find a poem with the words
With the words.
to express, all the feels. And there's a dearth of poems with all the words. So this one came across my screen today. It's light, it's beautiful. It really does express so much for me. It's called Snowflakes by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Out of the bosom of the air, out of the cloud folds of her garment shaken, over the woodlands brown and bare, over the harvest fields forsaken, silent and soft and slow, descends the snow. Even as our cloudy fancies take suddenly shape in some divine expression, even as the troubled hearth doth make, in the white countenance confession, the troubled sky reveals the grief it feels. This is the poem of the air, slowly in silent syllables recorded. This is the secret of despair, long in its cloudy bosom hoarded, now whispered and revealed to wood and field. Thank you, Homie. Yeah, I thought it was sort of like the clouds are holding so much grief for us, and it kind of let go in a beautiful. Are you crying?
Oh, me.
Yeah, just let go and blanket us all with some kind of grace.
you know what, you know how every year there's a theme that emerges, and it's so funny that I was the poem that I honed in on was lightness of feathers of small birds to try to lighten the kind of weight that we all feel. And then Allison's poem is about this internalizing into the body weight. I feel like there's this lightness coming.
It's been heavy. This is the heaviest year I think we've ever experienced.
Mm-hmm.
I have an advantage there. It's not my heaviest year. It's actually been a pretty great year.
Wow.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah.
It has been great though, too. I mean, there's been so much. That's why I said it's so hard to find something that has all the feels. There have been incredible, incredible things that have happened this year. The best of times, the worst of times. It really has been.
Mm.
But there's a weight to it, it's just this, we're all carrying it together, it feels like, and there's a real, and I don't even know if I would describe it as heavy, but there's just so much in this. There was so much in this year that we all have to wrap our heads around, and it's not over yet.
It's
So
Totally.
bring,
Like
bring,
the,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say it reminds me in some ways of you know the 9th and 10th month of pregnancy, where it's like this complete dialectic of unknown, a lot of uncomfortableness, some unexpected hopefulness, some unexpected marveling, all at the same time. You know, feeling constricted, feeling weighted down, feeling uncomfortable, feeling scared, feeling what's the unknown, and knowing that something's going to birth out of it. And I think that I feel like we're kind of going to the birthing out of it phase,
Yeah,
which is exciting.
I was going to say the same thing. We're in the birth canal, the chrysalis,
Yeah.
the primordial ooze, and we're, you know, it's uncomfortable and it's can be awkward, but you know, then comes the newborn or the butterfly, or you know, after the dark night of the soul, there's only expansion and evolution and growth. Homie, do you want to go by Homie or MK tonight?
I can go by Homie.
So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Oh wait, no, we're going.
I was trying to go under the radar because I don't have a poem, and I didn't, and I usually write something every year, but I couldn't even write anything this year because I can't read anything because I just cry so much. It's just been a season of crying and despair for me.
For some reason I can't pin you guys.
And death. There's been a lot of death in our lives this year, and it's been very, very hard for me. But I feel like when I think of all of you women that are sitting in front of me now, I have a lot of hope for our future together and the world's future, and I just love you all, and I'm just happy to know you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you, homie.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's a good one. Good one, Sandra.
I don't want to bring you all down. Come back up.
That's not down.
It's not down.
Not down.
It's just it's the truth of what we're feeling. I mean, it's you know, it's just like an honest look at what we've all been dealing with this past year. And you know, it's great that it's nice to be able to find comfort in those moments where, you know, we're on the lake, or you know, and it all seems like so long ago. Time is it's been the longest year too. It's like and then bizarrely short at the same time. Like it all just happened so fast, and then it was like a whirlwind, and we've been feeling so many different emotions that we can't really put our finger on exactly how we're feeling, because one moment, you know, like I can find joy, and then the next I'm like I do feel that weight of you know, everything that's going on, and it seems so surreal, you know, like the past 4 years and this past year has been so surreal, you know, just the fact that we're like looking at each other on a screen, you know, it's just it's been really hard. And I definitely, you know, like going back to gratitude and thinking about, you know, all of you women in my life, that always is a sustenance to me. So thank you for that. I just want to say thank you for all of you. And though I don't see you very often or talk to you on a regular basis, like I can envision all of your faces and your light. So that's really nice and comforting. This year, like, you know, Sherry, you were saying how you know, you felt like you should have been doing more, or like I always, like this has been since I left college for, you know, teaching art education or whatever, and I took painting classes and stuff, and then I, you know, I had my kids, and then I got a job, and I've been teaching, and, you know, trying to use my creativity in that way, but I'm constantly struggling with taking that step, you know, and being more creative. And so, you know, here's a new dawning, the age of Aquarius. I really like, I'm envisioning so many things that I want to do. It's just taking that step and going forward. And so that is really what I'm, you know, hoping for in this meditation. And when Sherry was doing her meditation, I envisioned like all of these goddesses around me, and then, you know, the indigenous grandmothers, and we were in a forest, and they handed me this beautiful crystal that was just shining with light. And so I accepted it, and it was Bast, my guiding goddess, you know, and she was this beautiful dark-skinned woman with like, she had this beautiful kind of headdress that, you know, looked like a cat, and just gorgeous. And it was a really nice embrace. So I'm hoping, and I'm gonna be honest, like I found my poem like right before we started. So I'm just gonna read it, and it's not written by anybody that we know. It's just about creativity and orange energy, which I guess is creative energy. So it's a poem about creativity. All I want to do is delight, throw the mask off, not care and not worry, not explain what I mean, nor define what I do. I just want to be whatever I feel like being, and just relish in the energy of this moment. I want to be so alive that I feel like the moon. Throwing tides just for fun, creating because it's what I'm here to do. I want to love the color orange just because it craves delight too. I want to cry because I'm so in love with the miracle of being alive. I don't want to feel like I'm striving, but I want to try and feel like I'm flying. And that's it.
Perfect.
Great.
Yay.
Well done.
Thanks.
Mhm.
That was neutral. Helpful.
Beautiful.
That's so good.
Get my water. Who's next now? I just kind of hopped in there.
That's perfect.
That was perfect.
Karen Smith?
I'm gonna pee though.
Oh, you want? Well, we should wait.
Okay.
Karen, do you want to go? Hey, Karen! Congratulations! You just closed, right?
Yep, I have a house.
Yay! Well done.
Yeah.
Are you in it right now?
No, but
That's it.
I'm in my house with like boxes everywhere, and
Where's your new house?
it's in Eldred. It's right across from the high school. It was like a dentist office.
Oh, wow.
It's so cool.
Great.
That's great.
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's a ranch.
I love a good ranch.
Got some killer carpeting.
Yep. A little bit of shag.
Woo!
A little bit of Shaq, never heard no one.
Teresa, are you back from the loo? Oh,
I'm back.
oh, okay.
I'm not in front of the camera.
Okay.
Turn off your light.
I'm in the dark now.
Ooh.
Am I supposed to be reading?
Yep, we're ready for
Oh.
you whenever you are.
Okay, so I picked my poem probably even later than Teresa picked hers.
Now.
But I just now, but I looked at my desk and I'm taking a neuroscience class. So I have all these pictures of the brain. And so here's like,
Whoa.
Wow.
Pretty.
That's cool.
so I found a brain poem, and I don't really know if I like it, but it's a brain poem, and it's called The Brain. It is by Emily Dickinson, though, and I think my favorite line is the first line, and it's, "The brain is wider than the sky, for put them side by side, the one the other will include with ease, and you beside. The brain is deeper than the sea, for hold them blue to blue, the one the other will absorb as sponges buckets do. The brain is just the weight of God, for lift them pound for pound, and they will differ, if they do, as syllable from sound." And that's it.
The weight again.
Always.
And I don't know, I'm just taking this new class, and it's, I don't know, I'm nervous about it, but the brain is super interesting. So
Karen, have you met
Yes.
Kristen?
oh my gosh, I think I have through Tanis. Is that right? No.
I don't think so. But I study the brain.
Oh, really? That's what you do?
Wow.
It's a beautiful thing.
Are you a psychiatrist or psychologist, or I don't know what you call?
I'm a psychologist and a neuroscientist.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
You
You'll
can
have some stuff to
call
talk about.
Kristen up for some tutoring if you need some
I'm definitely going to need some
for your
tutoring.
class.
There's actually there's a great brain coloring book that helps you learn the brain. It's really, really fun.
Oh, I think I had to buy it. I have it.
That's right up your alley.
Yeah.
No, it's so cool.
Yeah.
See? I knew it.
Wow.
It's very meditative.
There's also a pussy coloring book.
We got that for Christmas.
Of course there is.
We've done that before.
I have that one.
I'm somewhere around here. I don't know where. Everything's topsy-turvy over here.
Thank you, Karen. Sarah Sai, are you ready? Feeling?
I was just Googling pussy coloring book. Oh my God.
Is that an in-bulk? We all colored one, didn't we?
I don't know if it was in bulk, but it was at your house because I remember my mom did a really beautiful pussy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
She was way outside of the lines.
Give you the pussy.
Is that Trish?
Oh, here's Trish.
There she is.
Is she here?
Yeah, she's on.
Yes, she's got back on.
Yay!
Trish!
She's connecting to audio.
She can't hear us yet.
There she is.
Connecting.
Trying to connect.
Connecting.
So much snow, I guess. That's what I was a little worried.
Can you see it outside here? It's so much
Yeah.
on our porch.
Is it snowing in Vermont, Sarah Sai?
Not yet.
Oh, wow. We've got
I don't think so, though. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't snowing when I.
The city has a lot more than we do, so it's more coastal.
Where in Vermont are you, Sarah Sai?
Manchester. Do you know where that is?
No, I've been to Stowe, Vermont. Is that close to it? Is that close to there?
Well, the whole state's really small. Stowe's like 2.5 hours north, but we're in the southwestern corner. So like New York State is just like 45 minutes that way, and Massachusetts is like an hour south. We're in the corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
It's gorgeous here. I love it.
Have you started skiing?
Only cross country. I haven't gone downhill yet. I'm scared. But
It is scary.
Scary. Are we gonna wait for Trish to try to come back on?
I think she was trying to log back in because she disappeared.
Oh shoot, we lost her.
Yeah, I don't see her.
I can go, unless we want to wait for her.
Up to you.
What should we do?
I think you should go. Or tell another joke.
All right, here's this is, and y'all may have heard it before, but it's always good to hear again. And this is an excerpt from a Rumi poem. And so here goes. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there's a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the door sill where the two worlds touch. The world and door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. That's it.
Back to sleep. I remember that.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful.
We should hashtag everything from now on and don't go back to sleep.
But I want to read the first line, which is like, so great. Just out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there's a field. I'll meet you there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my favorite part.
So good to be here.
I think sometime when it's safe, it'll be nice to maybe it would be great to be able to do a sweat lodge again.
Oh, yes.
Release so many emotions.
Trish.
I see Trish. Trish.
There she is.
Hey.
Hi, Trish.
Hi, Trish.
So good to see everyone.
Welcome.
Hello.
Karen Flood.
Present. And well, that's bad girl. I didn't do a poem, but I did a drawing. That's what I painted all day, and I didn't do my poem, but I had a drawing and a musing. I've been watching the Harris hawk, Sherry, that ginormous hawk we've seen.
Oh yeah.
Hanging out on the tree with three crows and 2 blue jays.
Wow.
And they do this every day for 3 days.
Their crew.
It's amazing. This hawk is so big. It's like that big. And then the crows sit on top of its head, kind of. Not on its head, but over. The branches are over. And it's almost like this hierarchy, and they're like talking to each other. And then once the hawk flies away, the crows follow it. And it's just amazing to watch these beings do this thing right outside my window. And since I was very, very little, this is what I've always asked for, was to be able to view things in this way. And that's why I didn't write get my poem.
I think I think you might have just recited a poem.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Mhm.
My spoken word.
Yeah.
I'm best at that.
But also to celebrate where you are and when you're
yeah.
there.
Yeah, doing what you always dreamed of doing is beautiful.
Like you've landed in a beautiful spot after years of challenge.
Yeah, right on.
You know, like congratulations.
Thank you. That's sweet here. It's really sweet.
It's pretty dreamy. And now the animal kingdom is coming to you and talking. So I mean, great.
It's amazing how
So-
big hawks can be.
The in my church, in the Native American church, there, we use fans to pray with. So usually it's eagles and hawks and macaw, but I have some women friends that one of them made a blue jay fan, and they
Ooh.
pass it on from mother to mother. So when after they've had their baby and they've prayed with it, they give it to another mother. That's because blue jays actually, I kind of think of them as bullies a little bit, but they're warriors. They've got
Yeah, that's why they were sitting up there with the hawk and the crows. Like,
Exactly.
What are you two little guys doing? And I'm just doing this.
Yeah, and they're so handsome too.
They're handsome.
But that's a fun mix because it's like magical and strong, protective feeling. Trish, how are you? Did you bring a poem?
I was gonna read. My internet connection is like keeps saying it's unstable.
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get in before. And then I couldn't get into the audio. So just tell me if like.
We can hear you now.
I'm gonna just read from something. It's from the Bhagavad Gita. I don't know why I want to share this, but I do. Tolerate the impermanent. Happiness and distress appear and disappear like winter and summer. They arise from the perceptions of the senses, and you must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. When one is undisturbed by happiness and distress, and is steady in both, one is fit for eternal life. The unreal has no permanent existence. The real exists forever without change. So conclude seers of the truth who have studied the nature of both. We are eternal beings, yet we experience through our senses and mind the ever-changing conditions of this temporary world, from the cold of winter to the heat of summer. If we practice patience in the face of pleasure and pains of life, and the happiness and distress they bring, we will learn to distinguish the firm ground of truth, which is eternal, from the tides of illusion. And a separate passage from the same book is the power of the senses. One who withdraws the senses from the world as a tortoise draws in its limb is secure in wisdom. You may renounce external pleasures, but still desire to enjoy them. Such desires cease only when you taste a higher reality. The senses are so strong that they carry away the mind, even if a wise person is striving to subdue them. One who restrains the senses and whose thoughts are focused on me is secure in wisdom. While dwelling on the objects of the senses, you develop attachment for them. From attachment grows desire, and from desire arises anger. Anger produces illusion, and from illusion comes forgetfulness. Forgetfulness destroys your intelligence, and when your intelligence...
Oh no. Oh, she froze. Oh, she's back.
The senses make good servants, but bad masters. It's natural to enjoy the senses, yet since enjoyment brings suffering in the wake, this is the puzzlement of material existence. So this time last year, Grace and I were in India. This week we were actually in the Himalayas, and we were in this very withdrawn place where we spent our days meditating, eating very little. No, kind of seemed miserable to fly to India and do this, but it was one of the most peaceful experiences I've ever had. And I never like imagined what 2020 was gonna bring. But having spent those couple of weeks in India studying this was super helpful for the year ahead. And I mean, I've studied yoga philosophy for a long time, but I think I miss everyone. I miss the social aspect. I really miss my friends. But I've been really sort of embracing the solitude and the quiet and the repetitive nature of my days. And the solitude, you know, the sense enjoyment's been like diminished, and the peace has been really beautiful. I want to share that.
Pet your horses.
My horses. I'm fortunate for that, for sure.
And Greg.
Oh, and Greg.
Their dogs.
Yeah.
You're good. Oh, I'm glad you were able to get in here. It's nice to see you too. Miss you.
I miss you.
Does anybody have a comment, or I'm getting confused here. I think Kristen.
Am I up?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just meeting most of you for the first time. I just want to start by saying how incredibly grateful I am to have been invited. I don't think words can express how important it is for this to have unfolded, and I don't even know how it has unfolded, but to be in all of your presence at this juncture in my life. I'm so grateful, and it was very needed. So it's one of the few times that I took my hand off the steering wheel and let the universe figure out what was going to happen, and here I am. So I'm very grateful for that. So thank you for inviting me. And I I wrote something this morning, and I haven't written anything since 2001. So this is, I guess, my voice trying to come back out after a lot of years of being stuffed in. So I'll read you what I wrote. The bare bones of trees used to scare me. Into nature's withholding, I am abandoned into darkness again. Too frightened to be aware of the silent gift. The silence too loud to listen to. Too caustic to hear. When too small to see. Missing the grand inhale that is winter. Missing that it is an embrace, a pause. A reflection before the great exhalation of spring. How can it even be possible to unveil glimmering leaves? I'm not ready until I've closed my eyes in winter, to slow, to notice, to see the beaming, pulsing, fervent life that happens behind roughened tree bark, under covers of icy snow, underneath the shy earth, even if shadows are terrifying. The necessary retreat inward, without which nothing exists to release into the world. Nothing emerges to worship the beams of sunlight bouncing off color, vibrancy, smoothness, and sharpness and shape. Shivering and cold to shiver in sunlight. The bare bones of trees show nature's wise silence. The softly beating heart. the promise of renewal, in the glorious exhalation of spring, if only my courage will allow. The end.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Very good. Oh, it's wonderful.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
What do you
Apparently
think?
your voice is ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to take a pause after that. It's like nobody wants to.
Yeah, it's funny because I was thinking what you were saying, Karen. So I've rented this house. For those of you who know Bruce and Jacob, across the street from them, and there's this big tree, and it's filled with something, and I can't figure out what they are. They look like eagles, but I don't know if they're eagles. But there's like
those
18 of them.
are turkey buzzards. I've seen those guys. They sit
Turkey
on
buzzards.
Yeah.
The lady feeds them.
The
Yeah.
Narrowsburg
They're
turkey
amazing.
buzzards.
They are amazing.
Yeah. So I'm just every day I'm sitting here just watching them do their thing.
I'm sorry, they're
coming and going.
vultures. I think those are vultures.
They're vultures.
Yeah, not turkey, but yeah, vultures.
They're beautiful.
They're gorgeous. They're so ugly beautiful. They're both.
Yeah. Well, I can't see their faces. I can only see their wings. Their wings are beautiful.
That's so beautiful that you haven't. So 20 years ago is when you were writing last. And did you write often before?
Yeah, that was my whole livelihood before. So, yeah.
So rebirth is happening.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
me and my
also,
son.
for you guys that don't know, we're starting a girl band. Kristen's gonna be
Yeah.
a singer, so if anybody wants to join us,
Oh my god.
Musical?
I'm gonna.
I'd love to see it.
Ray, you're muted. I play the drums. Cool.
Perfect.
I'm in for bass.
I haven't done it for over 20
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
I'll dance.
I could probably do a little backup singing.
Awesome.
Tambourine.
I brought all my guitars, so I'm ready to go.
Woo!
All right, Miss Sandra D. You ready?
So, so this was a big year. Past year, I'm kind of still in it. And I really haven't seen anybody, for the last few months, probably. I've been really holed up and going through my grief process. And it was so good to come out of 2020 and into Biden taking office on the 20th. And so I want to read Amanda Gorman's poem, which you may or may not have heard at the inauguration. If you haven't, you're in for a treat. She's the youngest poet, National Youth Poet Laureate. She was only one of 3 poets to be invited to write for the inauguration. Walt Whitman being one, and I can't remember, Maya Angelou being the other, yes?
Yes.
And she started writing, she's 22 years old, from LA. She started writing this poem before the riots, and she finished it the day after the riots. And here it is. It's called, the title. The Hill We Climb. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace. And the norms and notions of what just isn't always justice. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny Black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge a union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true, that even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried. Not that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promise to Glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare. It's because being American is more than the pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. This effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith, we trust. For while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is an era of just redemption we feared at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left with. Every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the West. We will rise from the wind-swept Northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed city of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover. And every known nook of our nation and every corner called our country, our people diverse and beautiful will emerge, battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
Great choice.
I think of a more perfect poem at that moment. It's like, wow, so talented.
She was so beautiful reading it, and it just made me proud, and like it really, made people like poetry again. Like there was all this, this resurgence of.
Did you know that she had the speech impediment and only conquered it within maybe the last year? She couldn't pronounce R's.
That a time ago? Wow.
And so she overcame her speech impediment in time to read at the presidential inauguration. I mean,
perfectly.
Right?
Wow.
Beautifully. That was beautiful, Sandra.
That was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah.
Funny, 'cause I was
Hoping somebody would bring it.
Me
bring
too.
it.
Black History Month, like that was perfect. Lorraine? Where'd she go?
She's missing. Hey.
Who's
Lorraine.
missing? Going to look for a poem.
Bye.
Lorraine, are you ready?
You've got your.
You're muted.
Do you have a poem to read?
Yes. Um, so during this time when we're all in quarantine, I have actually been in major journaling, meditation, ritual mode. And so I just, I'm just very much in each moment, and I didn't really have to pick a poem or think about what to say because it's just where I am right now. I didn't. So for me, like I've made a vow, like as a result of everything as I'm evolving in this process of all my practices, I really made a vow to be fierce about the use or misuse of my time. And for my inner son, for my inner child, for, with intentionally to stop being preoccupied with physical matters and matters of ego, and stop resisting spiritual matters, and just let myself sink into myself in a way, and surrender in a big way to the higher forces of my own life force, of spiritual matter, of wisdom. Try to. And I think one of my favorite quotes right now is, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. And the poem that's really struck me in the last few weeks that I just keep coming back to is a poem by Margaret Atwood called The Moment. The moment when, after many years of hard work and a long voyage, you stand in the center of your room, house, half acre, square mile, island, country, knowing at last how you got there, and I say, I own this, is the same moment when the trees unloose their soft arms from around you, the birds take back their language, the cliffs fissure and collapse, the air moves back from you like a wave and you can't breathe. Now, they whisper, you own nothing. You were a visitor, time after time, climbing the hill, planting the flag, proclaiming, we never belonged to you. You never found us. It was the other way around.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's like a poem of surrender in a good way.
Lorraine, I was almost going to read that E.E. Cummings thing. Isn't that his quote, to be nobody but yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, I almost was going to read that. That's funny.
That is funny. That's a very synchronistic.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Natasha. This has been really nice, and I don't want it to end so soon, but we have one more reader. Should we play a game before we? Natasha, you can whenever you're ready.
Okay. I've been so emotional being here with you all, and my heart just has felt as if it's about to explode from joy just to be in the space with you all. And yeah, Liz was naked in the bathtub, but I kind of felt during our meditation, I felt naked. Like I don't know, you brought me, Sherry, to a place where, I don't know, you just reconnected me in that moment. Thank you. I'm really happy to be here with you all. So my poem I found, I don't know if any one of you is listening to the podcast, Poetry Unbound. It's a podcast by On Being. And every week there's one poem that's chosen by this poet, Padraig Ó Tuama, who's an Irish poet with the most incredible accent and voice and way of presenting. It's a real treat. And through this podcast, I found this poem called Praise the Rain by Joy Harjo. Praise the rain, the seagull dive, the curl of plant, the raven talk. Praise the hurt, the house slack, the stand of trees, the dignity. Praise the dark, the moon cradle, the sky fall, the bear sleep. Praise the mist, the warrior name, the earth eclipse, the fired leap. Praise the backwards, upward sky, the baby cry, the spirit food. Praise canoe, the fish rush, the hole for frog, the upside down. Praise the day, the cloud cup, the mind flat, forget it all. Praise crazy, praise sad, praise the path on which we're led. Praise the roads on earth and water. Praise the eater and the eaten. Praise beginnings, praise the end, praise the song, and praise the singer. Praise the rain, it brings more rain. Praise the rain, it brings more rain.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Last poem.
the woman who read it is Joy Harjo, and she's the 23rd Poet Laureate of the United States and the writer of the Muscogee Creek Nation.
What's her name again?
Joy Harjo.
Would you email that podcast too?
Wait,
Yes.
no, what was it again?
Harjo.
Harjo, Joy Harjo. She's also Chancellor of the Academy of American Poets and a founding member of the Native Arts and Cultures Foundation.
Oh, now I have to read my second poem because it's by her. I love her. Can I read a second one?
Yes,
please.
It's shorter. It's much shorter, but it reminded me of all of you guys because it's about sitting around the kitchen table and women, by Joy Harjo. Perhaps the world ends here. The world begins at a kitchen table. No matter what, we must eat to live. The gifts of earth are brought and prepared, set on the table. So it has been since creation, and it will go on. We chase chickens or dogs away from it. Babies teeth at the corners. They scrape their knees under it. It is here that children are given instructions on what it means to be human. We make men at it. We make women. At this table, we gossip, recall enemies and the ghosts of lovers. Our dreams drink coffee with us as they put their arms around our children. They laugh with us at our poor falling down selves as we put ourselves back together once again at the table. This table has been a house in the rain, an umbrella in the sun. Wars have begun and ended at this table. It is a place to hide in the shadow of terror, a place to celebrate the terrible victory. We have given birth on this table and have prepared our parents for burial here. At this table, we sing with joy, with sorrow. We pray with suffering and remorse. We give thanks. Perhaps the world will end at the kitchen table while we are laughing and crying, eating of the last sweet bite. That's the table we all sit at together all these years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I miss that.
I want to be at the
Much.
I'm so glad Natalia
Food, how weird.
and read your poem. That was a beautiful, like, bringing it all together at the end. I love it.
Joy Harjo. I need to look her up.
Thanks for letting me witness your table.
We're at the table.
I'm hungry.
I'm ready to eat at the table.
We go show me's now?
Yeah, we have
After Zoom.
Time for show me's house.
Yep, this
A post.
sick.
Somebody's got to run the labyrinth.
yeah.
I think Liz is headed over.
Oh, welcome.
She's already dressed for it.
Yeah, Liz, you're headed over here next, right? Is she still here? Where is she?
She left. She's headed over.
She's at the.
It's naked outside.
Oh my God, that's so cold.
Oh my God, in the snow, Lisa would have been challenged to be naked herself.
Up to her knees.
Oh, we would have liked that.
Lisa Richard.
I don't think she would be able to find the labyrinth right now.
No.
Oh, that'd be fun.
She would try.
I guess I'll read one thing to close. Does anybody else have anything that they want to say? Share?
Thank you.
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Doing this.
I miss all of you.
Miss you.
Yeah.
It is the night that fills up my tank for the rest of the year, that's for sure. Being with all you guys.
Mm,
Nice to take
totally.
Thanks for making it happen virtually.
Yeah, absolutely.
In my spot.
Oh, Greg's here.
Hey, where my spot?
I thought I heard a man.
James said he was gonna do a naked run through in place of Lisa.
Oh, it's not too late.
I was like,
Will he do the dick dance?
I hear you and know that I told you.
Greg, you're gonna have to do it instead. There you go. Okay, one last one. This is so I think, yeah, what a beautiful, it's so interesting kind of what everybody chooses and all these sort of this weaving of, trees and weight and transformation and yeah, and we've all had different experiences of this year, but it definitely was a powerful one. And I love to think about like the composting of, I have a huge compost that I consider an altar where I throw all my food, and that soil is what becomes rich, so we, the breast cancer survivors and losing beloveds and grieving and all of those things that are part of life. We're so fortunate to have this space and our friendships. And in that council, I was thinking about like sometimes our guides and a lot of these hard lessons are what bring so much joy and beauty once we get through them, once we've kind of transformed, because life is a duality, and then sometimes the deeper we have felt things, there's another side to that once we get through it. So who knows what's to come next, but I do, it feels so encouraging and strengthening and heartwarming to do it together is, you know, I know we all see each other and have our different relationships with one another. Some of you don't know each other yet, but you know, whoever your circle, whoever your guardians are, like the real ones that you can touch and feel and FaceTime and call, and the ones that are, you know, the elements, just getting out in the earth and the fresh air and the puppies and all the loved ones, just really have so much gratitude for all of that. So this is Pixie Lighthorse. I've read her before, but this is the closest book nearby, and I just opened it. I didn't like choose one, and it's Honoring Transformation. I guess I'll hit myself. Thank you for this beautiful day of changing. My shell is shifting, my skin shedding, and I am uncomfortable with what is leaving me. Help me find the language to describe the discarding, the bearing of my branches. Bring understanding so that I can welcome what is coming. When I am unsure about how to go forward, help me prepare for my new stage. Help me trust that I will love myself through it. Encourage me when the time is optimum to let go of what has passed. When those around me are not eager to know my restored original spirit, soften me with the realization that if I am uncomfortable with my changing, they must be too. Let me be an example of becoming more whole while I'm leaving unneeded parts of my previous shape behind. Startle my senses with cellular renewal, awakening my purpose and direction. Move me through the dark nights and ease the pain of liquefaction inside the chrysalis. Excavate my soul's gestural poetry and help me find what is next with fluid movement. Unfurl my damp, untested wings and lift my willingness to the limitless skies. Rouse my interest in the world I am seeing with newborn vision. Reinforce my sacred commerce with the divine. Guide my hands to build altars to the portals of existence I can now pass through with ease. Protect me as I construct relationships that are more complex than those I've previously known. Strengthen my small shelter in the woods, my room of one's own, to recreate, reinvent, and reimagine. Help me to weave healing medicine with my acquired gifts and experiences. Harmonize my fresh layer with knowing the meaning of this shift. Ease me through the other side and set me down delicately to fully embody my unusual more me form. Clear me of any blockages that stop the flow of goodness from me and the flow of goodness to me. Salt me with grateful tears and cleansing rain. Bathe me in the distilled waters of evolution. So she's a teacher of mine, very sweet. Wow, soak everybody in one more time. What's the
Sherry, Sherry, can you send that?
Chewy!
Can you send that to me?
Yes, Pixie Lighthorse.
Thank you.
That's from Honoring. That book, Kristen, is called The Prayers of Honoring Voice. So I'll lend it to you. But once it warms up, Lorraine and I did a little practice test of, so they say for Sweat Lodge, you just need fire, stone, and water. So you throw some rocks in the fire, and then you get a tub of water, and then you put the rocks in there, and you put like a shawl over your head really quick, and it's not quite the same as going into the womb. But it works pretty good, right?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
it was
we
good.
got facial.
Yeah.
So,
you could eat a mud afterwards.
yeah. So we can social distance and do that kind of thing once it warms up.
I've got one private sweat buckets.
Yeah.
Sherry, can I take a group picture of everyone? Because we have so many good pictures of Imbolc. I realized it when I was writing my letters this year, that there's so many good pictures of everyone. And when we're in this kind of state of peace and just joy of being together, I miss being physically with all of you, but we can take a group picture still.
Good idea.
You know, one of my favorite pictures is when I was trying to wrangle everybody to sit down at the dinner table, and I have this picture, and everybody looks beautiful, and you're like gathering everybody. I'm like, everybody needs to come sit down at the dinner table. I'm in the background, and I'm like, I've got this like look, and everybody's like beautiful. In this picture, I'm ringing my bell. I'm like, come sit down at the dinner table. So thank you,
Okay.
Angie, for taking all of these over the years.
Okay, I'm gonna take one right now. Screenshot everyone. Okay, everyone get together. Okay, that's it. I'll send.
Awesome.
Oh, I got that one. Do another one.
Should I get another one?
Yeah, I was being silly.
1,
Are my
2.
eyes open?
Yep.
Wait, let me take my glasses off.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Wait, I gotta. The other one has to go away. Sorry. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll send that one.
I feel like my head still looks really big compared to everybody's head.
Well, it's like right in the camera.
There you go.
Thanks, everybody. This is awesome.
Okay.
Oh, it's so good to see you all. I love you.
Hi. So
Nice
nice.
to meet you too, the new girls.
You too. Bye, beautiful,
Hi,
bye,
Shelby.
beauties.
Bye.
Hi.
I can't hang up. I can't do it.
Love you guys.
I can't.
No hangovers.
Right?
Really?
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you. I'm winding up. I'll be the last one. All right, I'm gonna go hang out with my boys. Aiden's here for a day.
Bye.
Bye. That was a good one. That was a good meditation, Sherry.
Oh, good. I totally winged it.
I-
I just went for it.
Really? That was
Yeah.
great.
Oh, good.
Amazing.
Good. Awesome.
Right.
Okay.
Love you.
You enjoy your
Aiden's
day
home.
tomorrow.
They made it. It took them 8 hours. It took James, 7 hours to go pick
You got
up Aiden.
stuck in the like super heavy stuff.
Well, yeah, but he said there's like 2 or 3 inches. Like once I hit Milford, it was like no plows at all.
Oh.
So, I know, from all the way from Milford.
Worst
so-
nightmare. It's like literally his worst nightmare.
and like it took him, even though the plane had landed, it took like, I don't know, like in 30 minutes just waiting to get to the gate, and then yeah, it was crazy.
Oy vey. Hope.
But he's here, safe and sound.
Yeah, get him to shovel.
He did.
Oh, good.
He and James, and they made a little ramp.
Cute.
The
Aw.
snowboard ramp, so cute. Anyway, good one.
All
Love
right,
you.
love you. Bye.